Hello, this is Richard Pazin, Fund Manager for Captura Wealth LP, also known as CWL Fund. I want to give a brief introduction of what our fund does in terms of investing, and I'm also showing you a portion of our website at capturawealth.com where we have additional explanation. Captura Wealth is an alternative investment fund. It's alternative because it invests in commodities and currencies as well as stocks and bonds. It's an alternative in that it invests in futures and options on futures instead of the actual stocks, bonds, and commodities. It's also known as a managed futures fund, and the strategy could be said to be leaning towards seeking alpha, seeking absolute return. These are all alternative investment buzzwords. It trades only regulated, exchange-traded futures and options, and we're also registered with the regulators. Now, alternative investment, we'll make a separate video and hopefully a short video explaining alternative investment, how it works in your portfolio, but it can reduce risk, increase profit, and then reduce volatility. It can blend well with a standard stock and bond portfolio. So you have standard and you have alternative. Now, I'd also like to point out Captura Wealth, or CWL, is a limited partnership. That means your risk of loss is limited to no more than what you invested in the fund. Maybe you'll lose profit as well if you had a profit, but the point is you cannot lose more than you put into the fund. You will not receive margin calls from the fund. Now, it also has a stop built into it, in that if the fund were to lose more than 50% on a closing business day basis, it will liquidate all positions and we shut the fund down. So that reduces the risk of seeing 100% loss. In addition, we have various management techniques to reduce the risk for each individual investment or trade that we have in the portfolio of the fund, thereby reducing the total portfolio risk. And we have assessments of just total portfolio. So we work it from top down as well as bottom up in terms of risk management. So we believe we can control losses to hopefully no more than 10% for a year during the fund, and that leaves the door open for 10, 20, 30% returns. We think this will fit inside of other alternative investment funds, a portfolio, let's say, and we'll discuss those statistics. But over the last 20 or 30 years, some of these managed futures and hedge funds have been able to make 10 or 20 or 30% returns. We think we have a strategy that can work in that direction and assist us in achieving that goal. Now, the fund also has a minimum of $5,000. When you go to invest in a hedge fund, you have to be classified as a high net worth individual or high income individual, and then the funds might cost anywhere from $100,000 to $5 million minimum investment. When you go to managed futures funds, you can bring that minimum down to $25,000, and you can find you really don't have to be rich or high net worth, but there are limitations. However, when you can go to a managed futures fund, in some cases from maybe some hedge funds that for some reason have a very low minimum, you might find minimums as low as $3,000. Most are probably $25,000 on up to a few million. I decided to go with $5,000 because it pretty much fits into just about anybody and everybody that I've ever met in terms of how to work with their investment. So if you can put in $5,000 and risk $5,000 or risk a little more than half of that, you can sign up very easily. We have a business agreement where there's only 5 signatures. And what we do is provide you, once you've invested, you've been approved, you've been accepted, and your check has been cashed, we send you monthly statements via email of the trading accounts. You can see what we're buying and selling, how the money's flowing. The same for the bank account, so you can see what's being withdrawn or added, so you know where your money is as well as the entire fund's money. Now, you also receive a quarterly statement that may soon be switched to a monthly statement of your actual individual portion of that fund in terms of performance, and you also receive a monthly statement of the entire fund's performance in terms of net asset value per unit, which is like saying per share, but you're also going to see that it's on a percentage basis, and we'll show you the change for the month, for the year to date, and then, of course, previous years as well as the since inception return. I hope you'll join me on this journey of seeking an alternative investment return, something that I think stands to make a nice alternative to standard stock and bond investing and can make a difference in the long-term portfolio. I hope you'll consider when you do invest, you'll stay in for 1 to 3 to even 5 years, so we give it enough time to ride out the various cyclical up and down moves so that you can see it can work and add value in the end. So I welcome you to join us in this fund, and you can find more information at CapturaWealth.com, and you can email us at info@CapturaWealth.com, and you can also call us at 386-785-1585, and we'll have a brief little discussion whether this can fit into your portfolio, whether you can manage the risk, and if so, you'll then receive an invitation to review our business agreement, and you'll find you can sign up in very little time and get started in the fund. Now, we have arrangements with 2 different IRA custodials who can set up custodian accounts so you can use IRA monies, and quite possibly this will someday expand into pensions and 401ks, so you can invest in that direction, but you will have to pay a custodial fee on your own separately. The fund will not be paying that. But that is another way of investing. But at least consider the fact that even if you go to work with a broker or set up your own trading account, you probably need more than $5,000 today to do it. And if you're going to go with the managed individual account route, you're going to need $25,000 or more. And if you go with funds, you may very well need $25,000 or more, perhaps considerably more if you go with the hedge fund. So I think you'll find this as a fantastic diversification with a nice minimum here. Consider $5,000 to $25,000 depending on your net worth and your income and your experience. And we hope you will join us on this journey. This is Richard Pazin for Captura Wealth and RFPCO Group LLC. Thank you.